Okay, Slayer, I'm going to go over your replay real quick for you, just to let you know what you did wrong. First off, this wall right here is really trash. Gateway always needs to be on top of the forge, so this is not tight here. Links could get by. If you had speed links, you could just run right by it. Get in. So, always put gateway above forge, not like this. So, our build's actually pretty decent this game. And your pro production's actually pretty good this game too. We are a little bit late on the 1-1 timing here. It should be hitting at 7:30 exactly. And our Corsair count here is obviously just non-existent. We have 2 Corsairs when we need 5 by 7:30. And we need 7 Zealots by 7:30. And the Zealots should already be moving out across the map by the time 7:30 hits. So imagine if we had that timing down and we attacked with 5 Corsairs and our 7 Zealots. Like look at what Zerg has here, right? They've got 1 sunken there, they've got 2 sunkens here, but you know, no SimCity, so our Zealots would instantly fuck this shit up. So if we were hitting our timing here exactly as it should be, then we wouldn't have to worry about this game going long at all. We would have just straight up won because our Corsairs would have been unchallenged. Our Zealots would have just completely destroyed these Sunkens. And this Zerg that has nothing would be just dead. Instead, you can see our timing doesn't actually move out until about like 8 minutes here. Or like 7:55 is when you actually move out or something. And you can just see gives the Zerg plenty of time to make a lot of Langs, Hydras. If our timings aren't crisp in PvZ, we're just going to lose because so much of Forge-based play is, you know, hitting strong timings and throwing Zerg off their game. If you can't do that, if you don't hit those timings well, if you're 25 seconds late like you were in this game, then you're just going to get stomped by Zerg economy. And obviously, like, 3 Sayers is just not that useful. It's good for scouting though, so I do like how you're scouting with them. That's definitely smart. Be active with your Sayers, keep scouting with him, make sure he's not taking any bases. That's one of our biggest problems this game, is this guy takes a bunch of hidden bases on us. Or, they're not really hidden, but he takes a bunch of bases on us and we don't contest them when we have the opportunity to. Now, Protoss has another big timing here that they're supposed to be hitting at 12 minutes. And you can see you're just hitting this timing at 13 minutes. You know, at 12 minutes you want to have a lot of goons. You want to have +2, and that means you can, or, you know, a lot of players actually like going 1-1 now, but either way, you want to hit that 2 upgrade timing at 12 minutes. So if you're not hitting it at 12 minutes, if you don't have any goons, like this obviously we can never bust, because we have no goons, he has lurkers, he has a shitload of units. And our army is really just so zealot heavy, not enough goons. And our timing is so late that Zerg's gotten so much time to get up 4 base economy, 4 gases, or 3 gases I mean, that it can just be really tough. On this map, something you could definitely do is sit your High Templars here and just storm the shit out of his mineral only too. You have observers you can see up there, you know. But our second timing is also late. So far this game we've had 2 late timings, right? So Zerg hasn't really had to feel the same kind of pressure that he normally has to deal with because we're not applying it at the appropriate times. We're applying it at times where he's already comfortable with the amount of units that he has, that he doesn't have to worry about potentially holding, you know? Because he knows he can hold. Whereas if we were attacking at 12 minutes with, you know, like 20 goons, or like 15, 16 goons, then all of a sudden it gets a little bit scarier. If we have like 16 goons walking up this ramp right now with, you know, 5 High Templar ready to storm and like, you know, maybe 20 Zealots behind ready to come in after the goons do the hard work, then I think we just bust them pretty easily here. But we don't have any Dragoons in our entire army for the longest time, so we can't bust. Okay, and then this fight right here, You send in all your zealots right away, and yeah. Running zealots into lurkers, always a little bit risky, because they just get eaten alive by lurkers, and as you can see, once we lose all our zealots, we have nothing, and our storms on this, I also want you to take a look at your storms here. Like, this is just a bad engagement all around. This is where you really lose your lead, I would say. Right now you're in a pretty comfortable lead. You have 4 bases almost versus 4 bases, so as long as we don't lose our army here, we can just, you know, deny any further bases. So yeah, he'll get up to the 4 bases, but as long as we can deny, you know, 12 and 11 o'clock and 5 o'clock down here, then we're in a good spot. But instead, you take this fight, and sometimes taking the fight is the right call if you think you can actually bust, but you need to be sure that you're engaging properly and engaging well. And in this fight, we don't do either. So we move up, we use a lot of our storms, and they're basically on nothing. So far we've used 3 storms and we've hit no units, 4 storms, no units, 5 storms and we get like a handful of stuff. Now that's our first good storm. That's a good storm. Not a good storm. That's a pretty good storm. Not a good storm. And now when we need more storms out of our High Templar, we're only storming once and our whole army gets gobbled up here. Imagine if we still had like 6 storms left and we could just keep storming all these Zerglings as they run up to our army, you know? But instead, we've wasted so many storms on garbage tier storms around here that we didn't have any, or enough storms left to hold off the Zerglings well. So, and now you can see our supply is even. We do have this fat bank still, so we're still probably in the lead here if we were macroing properly out of all our gateways at once. You do have a lot of gateways too, which is good because we're on so many bases. But and I don't understand why you're still building Corsairs. The time for Corsairs has ended in this game. You don't need to keep adding them throughout the game. Now, this is your other biggest problem in this game is your scouting info is just completely abysmal. Look at how little map vision we have. We don't know anything the Zerg's doing. We don't have zealots holding onto these bases to make sure that they're not being taken. We're just completely in the dark, man. And so because of this, he gets to take this base for free. He gets to take this base for free. And he gets to take this base for free. And he gets all 3 bases really well defended before we can do anything about them. So you can see, can't just be playing completely in the dark like this. Now we see this base. We see that base too. So this is a good shutdown of this base, right? So once we shut down this base really well like that, well, so we just shut down his base. Why don't we go up here immediately and try to see if we can shut this one down too, you know? There's no reason for our army to just be hanging out doing nothing for such a long period of time. We always want to be active with it. And you've actually done the opposite now with the goons, where you have so many goons and not nearly enough zealots. Like this late in the game, the goons get less useful, the zealots get more useful, you know? So we want more zealots, less goons as the game goes on. There's a certain period of time where you want to be adding a lot of goons, but 20 minutes in, a good Zerg will have Swarm, they'll have Plague, and your goons will just not be useful once those get out. So having this many goons to slay is going to be a bad habit to keep up as you play better players. And once again, this is the problem with having no scouting, no info anywhere on the map, and having our army in such a passive position right over here, doing nothing. As we have our army here, and look, because we have no scouting, no info, nothing, and our army's just hanging out, not really doing much, we can't react in time to have this massive swell of Ultralis stopped. They just managed to get up here. Granted, this isn't the biggest of deal because this wasn't even a mining base, but killing all these Ultras is really good for you because it eats up a lot of his money. But Once again, he pulls us out of position, we lose this. So at this point, you're just getting pulled every which way. And this is where static defense really comes in handy. So we have 3,500 minerals. Why don't we just put a pylon here, and add like 20 cannons all around? Same with down here. Obviously, you already have a lot of cannons down here, but you know, if you're afraid of the space dying, add more cannons. And this is like, with what we see he has, it's starting to look like a split map situation. So let's take this high ground, pylon here, 20 cannons, you know, pylon here, 20 cannons. And once you have that many cannons, all of a sudden these ultras trade so poorly that they're just like money sinks for Zerg. So you get a really nice lead, because if he's going to waste all his money on just moving ultras into cannons and reavers, then, you know, we're just going to have so much left over because we're going to trade super efficiently. Also, like, work on your gateway layout. This is obviously pretty bad. And you have so many units just hanging out in your main. 4 shuttles for some reason. Like, why did we build so many shuttles before building reavers and stuff? And one of the things that I noticed you do with your shuttle play this game is you just keep flying your shuttles around with your army. When you have enough reavers, a lot of the times it's really good to go and start harassing these bases, you know. So imagine if we took one of these shuttles that has 2 reavers, dropped it right back here, or maybe like right over here, kill the sunken real quick, and then all of a sudden Zerg has to scramble to react to that, you know. And you can keep doing that, you can keep harassing. With speed shuttles, that's one of the best things about them. Drop some Templar here, storm his drones. Drop some Templar here, storm his drones. Send 2 reavers into his main. Drop them right here. Take out all this tech, you know. Be more active with your reavers. Just having them all hang out here, you know, doesn't really do much for us. Granted, he's attacking into it, so it's pretty good for us, actually. Now, there isn't really much to say about this game left, other than, like, once again, bad scouting loses our main. We don't have any observers out anywhere on the map. We don't see where any of his units are coming from ever, so. But I do just want to point out one last time, you have 5,000 or 6,000 minerals and 1,500 gas, so, like, we could literally have 20 cannons at our natural defending our main so we don't lose all our gateways. We could have 20 cannons up here so we can take another main and split the map, you know. So just be sure, you know, like, don't be afraid to just have like a fuckload of cannons. Be more active with your reavers. Hit your timings a little bit harder, you know. Those are the main takeaways this game. Seems like you're getting the general idea down really well. You're playing pretty decently these games, or this game at least. You just need to be sure you're drilling in, you know, the last of it, you know what I mean? The final last little steps. Make sure your timings are crisp. Know what timings you're trying to hit. And, yeah, go from there. Anyways, I hope this was helpful, dude. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord.